Hey guys, time for another discussion video. This topic is a sort of controversial. I'm not sure.
Oh boy, we're gonna rustle a lot of jimmies with
Yeah,
this
we're
one.
we're kind of wrestling a lot of jimmies. It's kind of weird because we've sort of been a part of this, so we can say what
That's
we
why we
want.
can talk about it
Yeah,
with
that's why we can
impunity.
talk about it. So
Yeah, I can watch while y'all talk about it. I brought my homies.
don't act so innocent. You're still in that thing that Ink Rose did with all the Brony Analysts in the picture. You're in
Ink
there.
Rose?
Yeah,
Yes,
Ink
you drew a
Rose made that
picture and
picture.
you're in it.
I don't do anything. I don't do
We know,
anything.
then why do you have 60,000 subscribers? You don't do anything.
74,000 subscribers. I'm counting.
Are you serious?
Dude, I know. I'm just as surprised as you
Oh my
are.
God.
I don't know what I do,
I hate
but
my life.
it's
Anyway,
not. It's not
when you get
analysis.
the plaque, I'm probably gonna
75.
kill myself. You're
I'm-
like 75% there.
I'm almost there, and that will be on my tombstone when I die. Saberspark, 100,000 subscribers.
Unbox Therapy just
So
got the gold plaque and he did an unboxing of it and I just puked everywhere. I was just like, I'm being taunted by life right now. I'm never gonna get
With
there.
YouTubers who have like alternative gaming channels, like my alt gaming channel got 1 million subscribers. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I'm here to ask a question since Tom is making a video, which is not out yet, but it'll be out by the time I release this video, about analysts, and I'm asking a question. Are they oversaturated? I say yes. End the video. Okay, we're done.
Alright, cool.
Yeah. Anyway,
This is good discussion, guys. We'll see you on it.
yeah. Yeah, so for the past couple years, like ever since you and Digi started doing stuff.
We're the problem. We're everything that's wrong with this fandom right now.
Tom,
Yeah, I mean,
wait,
in
did you have dumb?
in the
We
beginning,
used to have musicians and fanfic writers and animators and all the people who were talentless had nothing to do. But then they figured it out. They'll do analysis. I'm sorry.
That's almost exactly what my video is gonna be. Is that you just did it? Like that's it.
I'm so sorry. It's not true. It's not true. I feel so bad. I feel like I should correct myself right now. It does take talent. I love good reviewers. Damage control. Damage control. No, but I guess what I'm trying to say is
Subscribe button. Why black?
I feel like my subscriber rate's dropping right as we speak. No, but I feel like out of all the different parts in the fandom, analysis is the easiest to do. That's why it's oversaturated.
yeah,
Absolutely. The barrier of entry is super low.
Thank
There-
you.
There's two things that are abundant in this fandom and probably any fandom. I wouldn't know because I don't participate in any other ones. Is bad fanfic writers
Hmm.
and reviewers because the barrier of entry is non-existent. You know,
yeah,
you really don't need any equipment because everyone has a laptop with a camera and a microphone built in.
or just a mic.
All you got to do is just type things really badly. So like you can't get too mad at people's desire to contribute because
no.
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
But
Sex.
at the same time, a lot of people should probably stop and ask themselves why they're doing this and should they do this, or even better, should they do this yet with their current skill set and the gear that they have.
right.
And not a lot of people stop to do that because passion kind of overwhelms any sort of like logical thought. So yeah, I mean there's a lot of people talking about the show, and is there too many people? That's entirely subjective, I suppose. I mean, if you're really into watching reviews, then like the more the better. And a lot of people are. There are a lot of people who patron like 15 different people. Some people that I watch, some people that I've never even heard of. So I mean, if you're into it, I guess you're into it. But for a lot of people, I think it probably is like too much, too many people. There's just too many people doing it. I mean, you can ignore those people, I guess, which is fine. But again, this is kind of like a point that I was making in my video, and if anyone has seen it at this point, I'm kind of like repeating myself. But I was saying how before like the whole rise of the analysis subsection of the community, like the community and like the people who watch the show never really criticized it from within. Everyone was like, this show's great, it's super fun, we all love it, friendship is magic. And then once reviewing became really big, people started to reveal the man behind the curtain, and it's like, the show has some flaws, it's not that great, it's not like perfect, like
It's
everyone
not Steven Universe.
yeah, it's not, we can talk, but like just because it has your name, Saberspark, doesn't mean it's perfect.
We are the crystal gems, and time reviews suck.
You can.
That's the end of it. That's the end of the song.
See, you had Gravity Falls. You were talking earlier about Gravity Falls being perfect, and I agree with you there. But no, it's just I think when you listen to a really good song from the community, or listen to like read a good story or see a good piece of artwork, it's like purely a positive.
You've never read many fanfics, have you?
Oh, I've probably read more fanfics than you have.
You probably have. I'm just playing. Go ahead. I'm continuing.
But usually those are always positive in the way that like they're celebrating the show, whereas a review cannot celebrate the show. Clearly, my channel is any indication. You can make a review that doesn't always celebrate the show. Just go look at Equestria Girls, right? So it brings in negativity. Now, granted, most of the time for people who are doing reviews, that negativity is very benign. Like, it's just like, that's what a critic does. It's like criticizes. That's like the name of the game. It's right. That's why you're a critic. You're supposed to look at the good and the bad. But like, people get mad at me for saying bad things and not realizing that like that's part of what I have to do. If I'm just sitting there saying the good things, then I'm not being a critic. I'm just like being a fanatic. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I don't think that's what critics should be doing. But I think because outside of the fandom, there's a lot of like vitriol thrown at the community because it's so weird, and people still, even 4 years later, are just like, what is this? And I don't like it. And like are putting a lot of time into like fighting against it. A lot of fans, especially the new ones that come into this community, when they come to like a reviewer, they don't want analysis. They want affirmation.
Yeah.
They want affirmation of this is something good. I'm not a freak, and there's this whole group of people that is justifying what I'm doing. And so whenever they run into that negativity again, even if it's benign negativity from inside the community, it hurts their own interpretations of themselves. I think that's why a lot of people are against it. So my whole kind of hypothesis was that because we're a community that's kind of under attack from outside, and again, that's kind of like dramatization of what's going on. But just for example, that when people are in the community, they want everything to be positive. And a lot of reviews don't do that. So I think because it became so popular and there were a lot of people saying negative things, that it kind of shifted the perspective of a lot of the fans and like kind of made a lot of them jaded. And people were now able to clearly have access to like the negative things about the show, as opposed to just ignoring them and this like kind of kumbaya, everything is great mentality. And I think that shifted some things. And I don't know if that's a good thing. And I feel kind of partially responsible for doing that, because when I came into it, it wasn't nearly as prevalent as it is now. And whether that's just the passage of time or whether I actively contributed to that shift, I don't know, because I was too busy doing my own thing to really pay attention. So that was my kind of conjecture, and that's kind of what spawned this discussion, I guess, was me saying I was going to do that video. But part of that problem is that it's so easy to do, and so many people can come in and say that something's bad, even if it's just on a blog post. And it's, I don't know, it's very crowded now. So I'm talking too much. Somebody go.
No, and by the way, I love hearing you talk. I truly do. I was like, I wonder this guy's YouTube channel. Check out some of his work. I agree with you. Don't forget, this fandom went through a phase similar to this with Brony musicians, where if I recall, back in the day, it's like everybody and their grandmother was a Brony musician, like EDM.
Oh, that reminds me. Like at the beginning of season 3, like there was only a few reviewers or analysts. Like there was me, Tom, Digi, Golden Fox, and there were a few others that weren't quite as big going up. But there was a ton of musicians, and when the Babs Seed song came out, like every musician jumped on it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then this what we thought when we looked at the planet that was the Brony fandom. These ancient creatures, these Brony musicians, they're not very smart, but, big and have these giant crushing jaws, and they dominated the planet. And then this asteroid was coming at it, and it had this analysis sign on it with a little, a pen and a middle finger as well. And it just destroyed the planet, and then the musicians went extinct. And from that goo of destruction came Brony Analysis. So... yeah, that's what happened, more or less. Pretzel.
Yeah, I mean there was a shift, and I think the difference was that like making analysis videos is easy. Making good analysis videos is hard. Making analysis videos is easy.
Mm-hmm.
Making good music is hard. Making bad music is also hard. So the barrier of entry between the two things.
It's a pyramid almost. Like at the top, I see animation, and I see
absolutely
people who make the video games. Because
well, I mean, at the very top, Gabe's just sitting up there on top of the pyramid, looking down at everybody.
Pharaoh speaks, I can do it all. Oh,
but yeah,
I'll
it's
see
definitely
you
a
losers
pyramid.
at American Idol. And we're like, we're not worthy. Because I mean, I honestly would love to see some kind of pyramid graph. I don't know how the numbers could ever be achieved, but like at the top, I see things that are hard to do, like animation. I see, the people who make the video games, and there are a lot of other people out there that are even like more niche with their stuff, like that Silver Slinger guy who makes the jewelry stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But that's very niche. But the broad stroke stuff, I feel like analysis is just so abundant because it's like you said, the entry level isn't that hard. You get a microphone, throw up a Generozoid pony creator, you're good to go.
By the way,
thank you.
I blame you for that.
Mother...
For the trend of people using the pony in the like lower right hand corner of the videos, it's in every single analysis video, and you started
I was told it was
the thing is that I was for it. So I have to blame myself.
What have you done?
We all did that in the beginning, though. Me and Digi both did that because we were copying Egoraptor
yeah,
and Sequelitis because he had his character in that location.
So he's to blame.
Yeah, it's all Egoraptor's fault. That jerk.
First Game Grumps and now this. But okay, so now we've made the obvious point that there's a lot of them. What now?
I don't think there's anything you really can do. You can't stop other people doing what they want to do. I think the community just needs to grow and something else needs to come in and change things up again. Or, people can just not care. It's difficult to say, because again, you can't stop other people from doing what they want to do. And I think maybe it'll start to wane, perhaps, as less big people do it, because I know Digi's not doing Pony anymore.
It's already been done, though.
Are you suggesting that we
can make some money, guys? Fuck Patreon. I'm just.
Is that a pun?
Oh, that's the name of the new. That's the name of our first movie, guys.
Yes.
All right, I'm sorry, I'm being crude. Go on.
Well, the whole thing is that, like, will it do what musicians did, where there was this massive extinction, or is it just going to sputter out and just kind of slowly disappear? Because, like, I'm not going to be doing pony videos enough come season 5. Like, I'm probably just going to, like, do one little thing every now and then if I see something I really like. But other than that, I'm kind of just going more general purpose, because now I'm trying to do, like, sponsorships and make this my actual job. Like, I'm trying to become an LLC and, like, have a business. So if I want to get sponsorships and stuff, you can't do a fandom channel. It's just not going to work. They're going to look at it and be like, what are you doing? So I'm going to, like, pull back on it a little bit. I know Digi's not even going to BronyCon this year because he's not going to do the panel. He's not doing anything.
But he's like right beside it.
That pub crawl will not be the same.
So, I mean, I don't know. And then KP's big now, and she's kind of like the new ringleader. Inkros does her thing, and, like, they have their stuff. So as far as I know, like, that's the new main 3 is KP, Inkros, and Silverquill, and then Anthony C is like
Anthony's the only good thing in this world anymore.
The legend. Yeah.
Denote of Anthony C, Black Griffin. All right, the trifecta.
It's true.
If they all ever kissed at the same time, I'm pretty sure a singularity would occur.
It'd be worth it. As long as I was there to see it, it'd be worth it. Exactly. First one to die, but you die happy.
Well, I noticed that, like, okay, there are different portions of the fandom that have, I guess, what you would call inner circles. I think the P&Bers are so chill and cool. They obviously have, like, their own Skype group chat, and they talk and they work together. They've always been cool since day one. No drama ever. They're just so chill. Favorite writers, I don't know. They're mysterious to me. The artists seem really cool. They do their Tumblr DeviantArt thing. They go to the conventions and go to the vendor halls and rock out, and ring those wallets of the people there. I've been a victim. I know what I'm talking about. But the analysis portion of the fandom, I've never seen so many people who are so self-celebratory. Is that insulting to say? I feel like I'm about to shoot myself in the face. Like they really like the fact that what they do. And as somebody who's, I guess, a variety channel, I have no idea. Other times it's like Saberspark does analysis. I'm like, oh, okay. I feel like I'm digging myself a grave here. Like the musicians, know each other and they work together. But
yeah, well, I argue against that.
Somebody be affirm what I'm saying, so I'm fucking idiot.
I was gonna say that there are
it's like,
some.
we do analysis. We're pretty fucking awesome.
Now,
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
George Bush hates black people.
I'm not gonna name any names, but since I've been doing the top 10 pony songs, there are some musicians that are very, very similar. So, and I think it's just the fact that we're in that.
Go on and name some names.
I'm not gonna name any. If you think I'm gonna name any,
you've been warned.
But yeah, there are some musicians that are like that, that I see in the top 10 voting. So it's not just the analysts.
I feel bad. Okay, we've all been there. I'll tell you my story. I remember going to BronyCon, feeling very pissed off that nobody knew who I was there. BronyCon 2012. That was back when I was still fucking immature. I'm still immature, but I grew from that. Africa Northwest, I went there. Wearing my Saberspark shirt.
Saberspark.
It's me. It's me. How'd you know? Oh, it's on my shirt. And then after con, I started to relax and chill out with all that nonsense. Because this e-fame stuff is really fleeting, and in the grand scheme, it means nothing. So, I don't. Because Tom, you were kind of touching on this topic, saying like, it's good for people to celebrate the show. There's nothing wrong with going out there and trying to create something that you want to talk about, whether it's art or reviews or music or whatever. That's fine. Just, I've met many people who do it for e-fame only. And they have stars in their eyes. And I feel like since analysis is the path of least resistance to accomplish that, we see a lot more people, saturation in that part of the fandom. Does that make any sense? That's what I'm trying.
It does.
I'm trying to say that. I'm sorry.
You're trying to get some semblance of notoriety, and of course, if you're just doing something for the end result, you want to get to the end result with the least amount of friction possible. So you're going to go try and do the thing that takes the least amount of effort. Hence, the saturation of analysts, because it doesn't take a lot to get started, and you see those people, Anthony C, KP, Ink Rose, who have tons of subscribers, and it's like, that's where I want to go, and I don't need anything to do it.
They work hard on it, though.
Absolutely. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to make that work. It's not just sitting down in front of a microphone. You need to get a good microphone. You need to learn how to edit your audio. You have to learn how to make good assets. You have to write a decent script. You have to be a good writer, which is difficult, So there's more to it than the surface level of what it seems like you need, and that's why there's so many analysts and so few great ones.
I like Give and Take, by the way. I recently
Give and Take's great.
Gibbon's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you seen his other channel?
Paleo, you were telling me about this. I have not seen his other channel yet, but
he does a video game channel called Hypocrite.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic.
Oh my god, that's pretty good. I guess I'm trying to name some other analysis people off the top of my head who I really enjoy. Like I love KP's stuff. I think she's really funny. I like Anthony puts so much freaking work into his stuff. His recent Halloween thing, which
it's like a half an hour.
Loved it. I laughed out loud. I thought his voice was amazing. Like his voice acting was so amazing.
Anthony is pretty pro. I think he has the best production values out of really anyone who's doing this sort of thing. So he's fantastic. He just takes so long to get his stuff done. It's almost a crime, because if he could do things even twice as fast, he'd be huge right now.
Oh yeah, it's that I was talking to Paleo about this earlier. Was it Paleo or somebody else about how it's like the animators on YouTube before the Let's Players showed up. They were kind of some of the most well-known people.
Yeah.
But it takes so long to make those animations. Let's Players and showed up. It takes, hey, I'll spend an hour playing video games, chop this into 5 parts.
It's the same thing with what we're talking about with analysts right now. For Let's Players, it's the path of least resistance. So,
Right.
That's why ego.
And the worst thing is, like,
you have to make a lot of it.
Yeah, YouTube's algorithms on top of that work to promote that kind of content.
Yeah.
As opposed to animation and more structured things where it doesn't. If you can release something every day that's 15 minutes long and they watch all 15 minutes, YouTube's like, you're amazing, and keeps promoting you even though you're doing no work.
We're in the money.
Yeah, so, if you can do that well, like, you're set. So, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate in a way that we're kind of, like, the tool we're using, YouTube, kind of rewards, low effort, quick, fast food content, whereas, someone who puts a lot of work and effort into it might not get as much of a return on it just because the nature of how the content is done. It's all about how the viewer interacts with the content. It has no reflection on what that content is and how much effort's put into it. Because, like, for example, Carl put a shit ton of work into the My Little Anime opening, and that's still criminally underviewed because he busted his ass on that for how many months, like frame by frame.
I think it's over 1 million, isn't it?
Is it?
It's 600,000.
And then you have something like an analysis video can have over 1 million, like Inkrose's
freaking almost 4 million
has
views.
4 million,
but you
4
can't,
million views.
You cannot. Okay, here's the thing: is at the end of the day, it's the viewers, it's the consumers, it's whatever ends up in the suggestion window. Like, look at the top 10 videos from Jay Hall.
Right, but the whole thing is that, like, I think one of the main reasons Ink's video is so successful and the reason her channel is so successful is because she releases things not super quickly, but quicker than Carl would do if Carl was going to do an animation like My Little Anime all the time, and the algorithms in YouTube reward that constant upload and continual watch time, whereas it doesn't care about how much effort you put into the product as long as that product is viewed. And so, if you're someone who wants to get rich quick or get famous quick, like, you're obviously going to do the path of least resistance, and the platform you're using rewards you for doing so. There's no reason to try unless you're a masochist and have passion for, like, that work itself.
Counter argument or something I'm going to bring up. So actually, I was wondering this myself before we even brought this topic of analysis. So with all the Let's Players, obviously there's an oversaturation of that. Obviously, do you feel like it will crash someday? And like that means that people who are like animators and people who do sketch comedy, the people who are a bit more rare, will then rise to the top because they're just more of a I guess delicacy, I suppose, or that they're just.
There's an interesting point about that because I recently watched this video. I forgot the name of the channel, but it's a really cool channel where they talk about, like, computer tech stuff, and they did an interview with one of the people who works at YouTube. And they said that specifically works on the algorithm.
Okay.
And they said that they're always changing the algorithm to make it to where, stuff ends up where it should. So
it makes YouTube money.
Yeah, it makes YouTube money, but they are trying to make it to where, other content is, searchable. So.
Right. I was going to say it's only going to change if the algorithm changes, because right now the way YouTube's algorithm works rewards those kind of content creators. Yeah. That's how PewDiePie got as big as he is and why he continues to grow. Yeah. Is because the way the algorithm is working right now rewards that. And it's difficult, like how do you craft an algorithm or some sort of, like, automated system that can understand, what the content is and use it appropriately, because, like, at the end of the day, it's just a video file. Like, YouTube has no way of knowing what went into it.
Right.
The only thing you can do is try and tag it appropriately, but tags only take you so far. So, and then the question becomes again on top of that, should it even be YouTube's responsibility to try and make up for your effort? Right. Or is that your responsibility?
That's true. And another point I want to make is it's not just algorithms; it's also culture. My mom, when she was working her last job, there were these two boys who were the sons of the secretary who worked there. One was about, I think, 10 and one was about like 7. And my mom said that they'd always be watching these Minecraft Let's Play videos.
Yeah.
We didn't have that when we were kids. When we were kids, we watched cartoons on Nickelodeon, and that's about it. But now every generation that's born in modern society has access to the internet, has access to unlimited entertainment, has access to, you know, if I could as a kid, I probably would have watched Sonic Let's Plays. I mean, I loved Nickelodeon when they had that one show where people would
Nick
go
Arcade?
on there. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome. And now, like, you know, if I had a kid or maybe my nieces, they might, you know, have a thing for video games growing up. It's all right there for them to watch. Because kids, I mean, video games are gonna be are like it or not, they're gonna be part of our culture, like integrated.
Yeah.
They already kind of are.
They're bigger than they ever were before in the 90s.
Absolutely.
Mobile
Yeah.
technology. It's,
And that's the whole thing, is that, you know, going even back to just culture and stuff, is that now we have this platform that lets derivative content be right at your fingertips. And while that's great for people making derivative content, it's horrible for people trying to make original content.
Right.
You know, because you have, like, that's the whole reason why, like, a lot of us were successful doing the pony thing, but if we started doing something else, like, we'll get nowhere, because this is like, My Little Pony is an established franchise, and more people are going to search for that than, like, I'm going to go try and find something new today. It's not in the cultural, like, mindset. It doesn't happen. So anyone who's trying to create original things is just, like, facing the biggest uphill battle ever right now, because derivative content is so easy to produce and so easily accessible. And
Though there can be freak accidents with
oh, absolutely.
yeah, like
There
with
definitely can.
the Mystery Skulls music video, the Mystery Men did.
that's so much.
So-
That's
but
very
that's
rare.
very, very rare.
Well,
And
but
even
also,
when you think,
Yeah.
even on top of that, though, that wasn't a that was an original video, but it was based on a song from a
Yeah.
band that's established. If
Right.
he had set that to a song that he had made himself, would it have gotten as far as it did?
I
Maybe,
think
maybe not.
I do believe that if it's a quality piece of content, it will do good, okay, in the long run. Well, but the thing is, like you said, you put so much time into it that by the time you spent like 4 months making an original animation for one video, one Let's Player could have uploaded 40 Let's Play videos.
Right.
Which one of those could have eclipsed your video because it was Five Nights at Freddy's. Here's
Well,
my
that's the
thumbnail.
whole thing.
Here's my thumbnail
Let's
for
say,
the video.
like, how long did Mystery Ben take to make that animation? 8 months, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
something
He
like
took 8 months to make that one video, and thank God it paid off for him, because that's a lot of work. But let's say it didn't. Let's say it got like 100,000 views, and that was it. So 8 months, 100,000 views. A Let's Player at the same time in 8 months could put out 240 videos if they did one every day, and they probably could have hit like 3 or 4 big kind of like game, you know, internet kind of like fads that hit that, and probably gained 10, 20, 30,000 subscribers or more, gained a couple million views just from doing that. And, you know, like, all he's doing is sitting down and playing a game and then cutting it up.
Okay, I'm not, and by the way, I'm not angry at the Let's Players, okay?
No, absolutely not.
It's
because
just-
it's not,
it's just-
it's not their fault.
It's not.
It's not even anyone's fault. It's just the nature of the way the content works versus how
Yeah.
people interact with it.
Like, okay, oh man, it's funny how we've gotten on this topic from
Yeah.
the analysis
I
stuff.
mean, but it's so similar
it's
between
similar.
analysts and Let's Players.
Well, I have a Let's Play channel, and I'm trying to stay active on it, and I'm never banking on that to ever become my main thing. My main thing is comedy. I love making people laugh, and I'm trying. Like, I've spent about $1,000 of my unemployed money investing into making a new look for my YouTube channel, so I can be more consistent and be dependable with my uploads. Because so far it's been very sporadic, and like I have no idea what the hell I make. So, but Let's Players, you know, it's consistent. It's look at Trump from Hearthstone. Okay. I remember when I first started watching him, he had about 30,000 subscribers, 360,000 subscribers,
Jeez.
and about, I think, around the same amount of people on Twitch. And by the way, Twitch, keep your eye out on that. That's the next big thing. That's
Well, it
Oh,
already
yeah.
is. People
I mean-
can make a killing on that site.
from donations. There could be some Saudi Arabian prince like, I love this Let's Player who's a girl who shows her titties, $20,000. It's like, oh my god, that's my entire year paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, once again, it's not like that's just a freak of accident or you know freak chance of happening. I don't know. It's a beast. It's a beast. It really is, and it's so cool because I say cool because it shows you how culture's shifting. It's showing you how overall in the grand picture is our modern society is so it's communication, it's integration. So push for net neutrality, keep that. No, let's talk about the big things like net neutrality. That's very important. Let's make sure the big corporations keep their fingers off of that. Let's see the internet become a force of good. Despite it's dumb.
This
shit.
is like a super important thing to do, because this is what's going to allow our culture to start shifting away from a labor-centric workforce. Because regardless of whether people want it or not, because like there's this whole thing of like companies resisting technology because they need employees to generate income, but regardless of whether they want to or not, they're going to start cutting more jobs because mechanization is cheaper and more efficient. So once all those people are displaced from the workforce, they need something to do, and this kind of
answers it.
Is where people can go. So those as labor continues to get displaced by mechanization, I think this is what's going to start picking up the slack, because even as computers get more intelligent, even like the service sector is going to start getting mechanized. Have you ever, I mean, you go into like a McDonald's and I think all the time, it's like, this could be mechanized.
It is. It's already planned.
It's already a machine. They're just
kiosk.
people operating the handles instead of a machine doing it itself. You know, if you
kiosk.
look at the business plan of McDonald's, it is a machine. So all you need to do is get rid of the people, and then it's right 100% of the time instead of 98% of the time.
Where will the philosophy majors work then?
They're just gonna have to make YouTube channels and fucking do Patreon.
Ask the hard questions.
You're right. That's going to be automated in the future. Look at the Walmarts. I mean, it'll be something where you have one person overseeing it, and the rest of it will be like, here's your food, on a plate. Thank you. Come up again, you stupid sheep, and go to your kiosk, check out, put your card in, go eat your sluck, and go back to work.
Yeah. And on your computer, doing a let's play.
It's just, I don't know. The future is both scary. And I don't want to open any more cans of worms, because now we can really get into the big things like Google Glasses, or the idea of like humans, putting like technology in our brains or something like that. I'm not nearly intelligent enough to talk about this thing. I wish Black Griffin was here. He knows this stuff. I don't. So, but I guess kind of reeling it all back into where we began, because we can see how this kind of leads to bigger battles and bigger topics.
Right.
We see the analysis portion of the fandom is part of the Brony fandom, which is part of geek culture, which has a large presence on the internet. Really cool stuff. I think it's really cool overall, because this has all happened like in a short amount of time, like from 2004 or 5. I mean, for the internet stuff, for YouTube to today.
YouTube started in 2006, and now
so
like 8 years later, it's
dominant.
Imagine the next 10 years. It's going to be insane. And we're going to see YouTubers probably with like 100 million subscribers, and probably like, TV networks saying, screw it, we'll go to YouTube. Or I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a different animal.
The paid subscriptions thing fixes that for like we won't need cable anymore. We'll just pay for the
If I want to watch
NFL,
let me watch on YouTube live stream. I'll pay for it. Whatever. That's cable. I can't wait for cable to die. Goodbye. All right. So back to analysis. Oversaturated. Yes. The good ones, once again, no, they rise to the top. There are a few of them. So I guess final thoughts, guys.
I think the whole idea of having a lot of analysis in this fandom is just a symptom of just the internet culture and content creation in general, like we've just talked about. There's a lot of analysts because it's, path of least resistance, and it's easy for people who have passion but don't exactly know yet how they want to direct it to get started really simply, the same way that a lot of people do Let's Plays, because it's easy. It's something they feel that they can do, even if they don't know that they can't do it well. They feel that they can do it, because all you need is a few pieces of gear to really get started. Yeah, and so we're going to see a lot of that continue to happen.
I mean, that's how kind of I started with when I started doing my vlogs, like way back, before I even got into the pony stuff. And I was just, doing these vlogs like 3 times a week, and then I found ponies, and I sort of like just fell into my niche.
Right.
So,
which is dangerous, because people get hooked on the content, not the content creator. Right. Welcome to the Brony fandom. Welcome to the Grand Dilemma. Welcome to the glass ceiling, where
we're all there right now.
Yeah, it's cool, because when you're starting out, like, the sky's the limit until you hit around 75 to 100,000, and then it gets really hard to break through. Now, some people have done it, but it's so hard to change your audience's taste. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to say that quickly. Also, I want to say Red Letter Media. I was gonna mention them before. I freaking love those guys as
The
people
greatest.
who make something original and do it well.
Yeah.
That's a fresh breath there. I love them so much. All right, so I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. So I mean, I think one thing that probably should be said before we close it out is that people can do things bad and don't get mad at them for it, because we all did things bad when we started. You know, someone who does something bad now isn't going to do something bad forever. It's completely up to them whether they want to put in the effort to get good. Because you look at my first video, it's fucking horrible. You know, any of our first videos were not nearly the same way they are now.
Oof.
You know, I have someone on Twitter who keeps faving all of my. They've been marathoning them for like a week, and they're watching all my old stuff, and I'm just like, oh no, I should really remove that. No one should be able to see that anymore. So, you know, growth happens. Like, that's just natural result of repetition of a similar task. You get better at it. So people who are doing analysis kind of mediocre now are going to probably become good later. So I don't think what we're trying to say is that people should not do things because they can't do it well. You need to like try and have a plan for growth. But I don't have a problem with there being too many analysts. I think it's just a microcosm in the Brony fandom that represents a bigger issue spanning all of online media right now, is that low risk content has high rewards from the system that it's perpetuated around. And that is a problem. I don't know how to fix it, but I do know it's a problem. I can sit here and bitch about it.
I think we finally, Tom, you pretty much summarized it perfectly, so we don't sound like assholes. Because we're not complaining about the analysis guys. Like, I mean, but like you said, we all have to start somewhere. Whether it's you're a writer or an artist or an animator or whatever, you've got to start somewhere, and you're gonna suck at it most likely. But to get better, you find people who do it well. You ask yourself, what do they do that makes them so successful? Oh, good microphone, good editing, good scripts. You learn from them. You learn from it, and then you put your own original spin on it, and that's what makes you unique. So. To all those who are aspiring creators out there, you know, go for it. We're not saying, you know, shame on you. No. Go for it. Whether it's analysis or whatever, go for it. Just, I guess the only advice is learn to how to take criticism, to critique yourself, and know how to grow in the long run, because that's how you become a better artist in general. So. The analysis stuff is oversaturated. Yeah. Is that bad necessarily? No, it's just an observation. That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
Paleo, this is your channel. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is oversaturated, but is it a bad thing? Not really. It's just, like Tom said, it's just a symptom of, you know, a bigger thing. So, I think if you do want to do like analysts or reviews or anything, then, you know, go ahead and do it. Like, people who inspired me to do, you know, vlog stuff, like in Blackbird Comedy, like, I really love his videos. And like, also when I first started doing pony reviews back on my old channel, like I sort of wanted to do it kind of like some of the people on that guy with the glasses.com. Then I sort of like started doing my own thing. So yeah, you do get better as you go on, and you learn things. So yeah, I just think it's the fact that a lot of people now have the ability, since it's so cheap to start right now. Yeah, like technology, like for microphones and, you know, just recording and software. There's a lot of free software out there that you can use. So I think it's just a lot of people are starting, and like the fandom's grown so big now, so there's just a lot of people doing it.
Yeah. And another thing to keep in mind for people who are starting or want to do it because you want to get famous, because the barrier of entry is so low and it's so saturated, your chances of being successful doing that are diminished because you're not going to be able to get noticed as easily. So if you're passionate about the subject of critique and that's what you want to do, then you do it, clearly. If you're just doing it to get famous, well, first of all, you probably shouldn't, because it's not going to be like satisfying work in the long run. And second of all, doing the thing that's the most saturated has its own risks because you're going to be that much more difficult to get noticed if you're just using the bare minimum right from the get-go. So you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, where if you figured out your own niche and started it, you almost have a better chance of taking off.
Right.
So,
like the like the Let's Play stuff will always have its like smaller categories. Like when Hearthstone popped up, it was you see all these people rise to the top, and now it's kind of solidified to where these are the ones who are, or who you'd consider the E-fame people in that fandom. So it's just like you said, there's the competition's a lot stiffer.
Right, because it's like once you have like your person you go to, it's like, why do I want to go find more people? Like there are super obsessed people who will go look at everything because they just, and that's the whole thing. When you have people like that, they don't care about you. They care about what you're talking about. That's why they're consuming it from everybody. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They just want to hear somebody talk about Hearthstone, talk about MLP, talk about whatever.
You have to put in your own personality. You have to put
a lot
in
of the times, like you said, the community just kind of settles. Like, okay, I want this person. This is the person I'm going to go to learn to listen to Hearthstone. It's like, if there are like 50,000 other people doing it, I don't really care. This guy has earned my trust, and like I just want to hear what's new about Hearthstone from this guy. And then that's your Hearthstone dude.
Yep.
And if you're trying to make it big doing Hearthstone, you're going to be that much more difficult. So now you have to take down that guy.
Yeah.
Good luck, and like you said, guys, you have to have your own original spin on it, and that requires you being to think outside the box.
Right.
So that's the make it or break it part.
You need to be innovative in some sort of way and bring something unique to the table. And if you're doing it just to be famous, like you have no passion. Really, you have passion to be
People
famous.
can see through that. They
right, and then like, how are you going to bring an original idea into it? Because if you just want to be famous, you're just going to be looking at other people who've already done things and copy what they're doing, and then you're just like, you're the RC Cola to whoever is the big guy. And
oh my God, that'd be a great name for a gaming channel.
RC Cola.
RC Cola. Maybe not. I don't know. This you're onto something there. Hey, let's make a gaming channel. And after this, guys, I hope you all tune in. We're doing a Let's Play. We're going to play some TF2 on our gaming channels. Subscribe, please. Of course. I mean, I do have a gaming channel, but it's something I do in my spare time. That's why I have it separate from my main channel.
Yeah, I tested doing a Let's Play with Castlevania last month, but I'm just not fun to watch play games. I'm super serious when I play games. Like Saber's more entertaining to watch.
And that's the kind of audience where if you're super serious, people who like the game watch you.
Yeah.
But if you're comedic, like PewDiePie or whatever, then people come to watch the person who's doing it. So, like, with Hearthstone, Trump is a very good Hearthstone player. People come to watch the Hearthstone with him, and sometimes to watch him because they think he's enjoyable. But just know that when you're basing your entire ship, or, if you're building your house on this plot of land, the foundation is ponies, and that foundation runs out, you are just screwed.
That's what I'm dealing with right now. It's because like, how do I make the switch? It's difficult.
Yeah. Gotta get them hooked on yourself. That's and it's not impossible. Total Biscuit talked about that. He said,
when he was talking about him and Jesse Cox. They did World of Warcraft and Jesse did World of Warcraft and Total Biscuit did StarCraft for a long time.
But also Biscuit did Warcraft. Like he did lots of and that was what they were known for. And then Biscuit and Jesse finally, Jesse still plays, but Biscuit pretty much, like, I remember back in Wrath and Burning Crusade, like, Biscuit was all over that stuff, and he'd go in there and talk about the game and the updates and stuff. And then one day he just said, I'm done playing this game, I'm done. And then he started doing the WTF series, and he said it on the Co-optional podcast, I believe, saying that at first it was a dramatic drop in views, but he was consistent. Yeah,
it's the same thing that Digi has been going through.
Digi did it.
With the anime stuff. So yeah, it's
possible. You've got to be consistent. If you're good at what you do, you will finally crack it, and you'll get your audience, start building them back up. Game Grumps did it. They lost JonTron, but they recovered. So. Yes, you'll lose some people who will never come back, but you'll keep. Don't forget, you've got new kids coming in every day, so a fresh new audience to go win out there, and the internet's growing. Now's the time to establish yourself.
Like a lot of people, like I don't know, me and Matt talked about this a lot because like we're both kind of about to transition away like completely and just start doing something different. And we were going back and forth talking about like, well, I'm going to lose a bunch of subscribers if I like just like come out and say, yeah, I'm done and I'm doing something else. It's like, do I really want to risk losing that, or should I just start another channel? And like the revelation to me was that, well, I can start a new channel and start with 0, or I can use the channel I have now and lose half.
Best
Still have half.
Do the half thing because you gain some loyal followers in the process. You have a head start. And also my advice is don't make it a big, like I'm leaving.
You don't need to don't put any drama into it. You just
don't
start doing it. Yeah.
Don't say it. Just like here's a video.
That's the whole thing. Like everyone who makes a big deal out of it, you're inviting drama.
This fandom.
Oh yeah, this fandom is like the worst at
that. Tombstone. I hate to criticize the guy, but he has a bad habit of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I love Tomb. I think he's very talented. He needs to just stick with, like just stop dressing ponies. Just stop addressing ponies. Stop talking about pony stuff. Just fucking move forward, man. You've got it. What it takes. You've gotten there so far. Keep marching forward. And I think Tomb will make it. I mean, he's been working with big YouTubers as is. He's pretty much there. I mean, he has way more subscribers to keep pushing him forward. So, man, we've really, this has been a good conversation, by the way. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, we ran the gamut.
We should do this more often.
Yeah,
for sure.
We should do a podcast. All right. Well, that's all I really have to say on the topic. Do you guys have any other closing thoughts? Or Paleo, you're the one running this ship. You take the
sword. We've gone on for like, I don't know, like 40 minutes. so yeah, if you guys have any thoughts about the oversaturation of Alice, or even Let's Players, give us your thoughts in the comments. And I guess I'll see you next time, and you can visit these two, though you're probably already subbed to them. So... Anyway, bye!
Bye!
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share it. And be sure to subscribe for videos I upload every week. And if you're feeling really generous, check out my Patreon page. And as always, thank you for watching.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, by now we're getting a bit used to winter. We're like soldiers in the middle of a campaign, growing hardened to discomfort and better able to take